On today's episode of Identity, entrepreneur and co-founder of Nunnovation Africa Foundation, Ngwako Ramohlale, pops by for coffee. We attend the FEDAs with members of the Lebone II College of the Royal Bafokeng. And our What's Appening segment features the review of a travel guide app and a faith-based movie called I Can Only Imagine.
I am an individual with an imagination. My inner faith illuminates innovations. In a space with infinite inspiration, I was born free from all incarceration. Incredible, living infallibly, intelligent, outshine with my inner being. This is me, impeccable as ever been. I am you, you are me. This is my identity.
Botani namkelekile ngezandla ezishushu babukeli bethu. Nibukele inkqubo ehamba phambili eenkolo ezahlukeneyo enenjongo yokunifundisa nokunaka khonapha ku-SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. Nibukele i-Identity, ndimsasazi wenu uViwe Gxwala. It's now time to indulge on the spiritual menu that we have prepared just for you. Sit back, relax, and let's meet today's inspirational coffee shop guest. Innovative, creative, and talented. Those are just a few words to describe the young woman joining me for a chat today. Ngwako Ramohlale is co-founder of Nunnovation Africa Foundation, which is an organization that aims to inform, educate, and inspire through the programs they run. Under this organization, they've managed to train over 400 unemployed youth, develop over 100 entrepreneurs, and impact over 2,500 high school learners in the technology sector. There's so much more to this gifted young lady. So we invited her over for coffee and cupcakes, and to my delight, she accepted. Ngwako, welcome to Identity.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here.
Okay.
Sugar rush. Looking forward to that. Right. Ke goletse at Ridgeville, ke Ngwako Peli. That's township Yoko, Pretoria. Raised by a single mother, and yeah, I've just been hustling all my life from childhood. I've just always loved money. So I always found ways to just sell stuff, go strating, without my mom knowing. And she thought kadlala, like I'm just playing in the streets, but I was out there hustling at a very, very young age. But yeah, that's where I grew up.
Okay, so how then was spirituality introduced in your life, and what role does it play?
So next door, the family that lived there owned a church up the road. So I was just curious, okay, what goes on? Because I saw them packing instruments every Sunday, going there. So the one time I went and I was like, oh, this is cool. So that was it. Like, that was the beginning of my Christianity. I think I was 7 or 8. And I just was committed to the church, Sunday school, like number one, always participating in everything that they were doing. And it followed me through all the way to this day, actually. Yeah.
And you matriculated at the National School of the Arts, and you majored in art.
Yeah.
So tell us about your love for the arts.
So from primary school, I was struggling a bit with my academics, and I actually don't know who that guy was. Some guy was at our house and gave me a piece of paper, and because my mom was complaining about my academics, she's like, just ask her to draw something, and I started drawing an elephant, and it came out really good. And he was just like, chances are she's more inclined to her creative than her academic side. And then that's when at school they also encouraged me to start building a portfolio so that we can work towards going to the National School of the Arts. Then got to NSA, met a lot of beautiful, talented people in different academic fields and in the different arts fields. And that's when I knew, I'm in the right space, hanging out with creatives and just doing what we're passionate about and what we're good at, and in our own time, in our own space. So yeah. Okay,
and then you decided to open up your first company, which specialized in branding and design. What inspired that?
While I was in varsity, I saw a big need for branding, particularly from the church I was in. And I saw a few people, young entrepreneurs emerging at the church who needed branding, and I was studying graphic design at the time. So I just charged them, like, okay, give me $500, I'll do your logo for you. And I saw that, okay, this can be something worthwhile. I registered the company in 2009. my final year, and I was doing branding since.
Okay, and then true to your entrepreneurial spirit, you're part of the G20 in Moscow. Tell us about that, how it impacted your life, and how did it contribute actually to the person that you are today?
Sure, it literally changed my life. It was my first international trip, and I met entrepreneurs my age who were doing exceptional work, especially in technology and innovation. I remember one of the guys was from Moscow, and he had invented an app that would bring together all the graphic designers from around the world. So if you need a logo, you'd then go into the app and say, I need a logo. Then all the designers would bid, and obviously you'd probably go with the lowest or the one with the best portfolios. Technology was really threatening what I was doing, but it was also exciting at the same time, especially seeing people my age doing such incredible global standard type of work. I was like, yo, clearly we're playing games here. So upon coming back, I met with a friend of mine, Okatu, and he also had his own ideas around what else can we do to be part of this global entrepreneurship network.
Which leads me to my next question about Africa Nunnovation Foundation. Tell us about it, and how did it come about, especially the name?
So Nunnovation it's a derivative of two words. One is new and the other innovation. So we're like, let's take the two, put them together. And it was Nunnovation. At the time, it was just an online magazine. It was a digital magazine, and we were punting the innovative ideas and products that are coming out of Africa to the world. And to our surprise, we had so many followers from outside Africa. About 90% of our readers were outside of Africa, which we were like, whoa, we're doing this for the Africans, you know. But then the world caught on to what we were doing, and then we started getting invites to France, to Switzerland, to Germany to come and speak about the innovations that we're pushing, because we then realized that the world is no longer looking at Europe and America for the next big idea. They're looking at Africa, and the stories that we were pushing were exactly what they wanted. So that grew, and beyond the need of pushing content, we then saw the need to actually formally register the organization, and we made a very precise decision to make it a non-profit company. So we registered it as Nunnovation Africa Foundation because it is exactly what we were doing, pushing the African agenda to the world. I've been fortunate enough to meet young girls that I can empower and talk to, and we've been able to have bigger platforms where we can share the concept of why it's so important for the young girls to be a part of technology.
And to be active participants, and
to
be thought leaders in technology as well. So speaking about your organization, I want to find out about why do you think it's important for a young person such as yourself to impart and to positively contribute to other young people in our communities?
It's what helps communities grow. It's important that anything you're exposed to in life, you find 10 other people to expose, because everything that I've achieved to date was through exposure. I mean, if you take things in for yourself and it's just about your own glory, then it literally no longer becomes timeless, because the minute you're out of the game or you're gone, you're dead. It ended with you. So making sure that whatever you're exposed to, you pass on the legacy through generations, even older people. You know, it's important to empower the older generation, to empower even those who are in the suburbs that look like they know what's going on. It's just important
to impart that information and that knowledge. And you spoke about legacy, which is something that's really important. And I know the highlight of your career was when you taught high school learners how to build mobile apps and web apps. I mean, that is phenomenal. What did that do for you, and how did that contribute to the young people that you taught?
We met 20 young people. They were in grade 9, and they were from Pretoria and Soweto, and most of them had never touched the computer in their lives. So we had to start there to say, cool, this is a computer, this is a mouse, this is how it works. And we then got them into what is the internet, what goes on in the World Wide Web, you know, and then we moved into teaching them how to build apps and games. So in line, parallel to what we were doing there in the evenings, because we had them for the whole week with Telkom Foundation. So in the evenings we'd do a lot of life skills and thought leadership trainings to make sure that they understand that in building an app, it shouldn't just be for pleasure. It should impact and change the community you're in, the society you're in.
So right now we'll get into our word game, okay? So now we're done with the convos, we're done with the conversations, and we're going into our word game. And this game is called If You Were. So so you need to answer as accurately as possible. All right. If you were to learn a new language, which language would you learn?
French.
If you were to live in any city in the world, where would you live?
Paris.
If you were to be a time traveler, what year would you go back to and relive?
I need to fast forward. I want to see how the world will look in 2050. Yeah.
If you were a president of South Africa, what law would you add?
Lifetime for rape.
If you were a pair of shoes, would you be sneakers or sandals?
Sneakers any day.
Thank you so much for joining us on
so
Identity. You are truly inspirational. Please keep up the good work. What better way to keep you motivated than hearing stories like those of Ngwako? May she continue being a good example and leader to other young people, and may she extend her empowerment initiatives and programs to more young people. It's time for a short break. When we return, we head to the Festival of Dramatic Arts with members of the Lebone II College at the Joburg Theatre. And don't miss our media review segment, which features an app that provides you with useful navigation information when visiting and exploring the Johannesburg region, and a faith-based movie titled I Can Only Imagine. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Siyanamkela kwakhona nisabukele inkqubo eniyithanda kakhulu eyenkolo ezahlukeneyo i-Identity khonapha kwiqonga elihamba phambili i-SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. Viwe Gxwala, enkosi ngokuhlala nathi. Research shows that a student involved in the arts is 4 times more likely to be recognized for academic achievement. With that said, the Lebone II College of the Royal Bafokeng invited us to the Festival of the Dramatic Arts, which they were recently participating in at the Joburg Theatre. Their play, entitled Malaika, aims to educate people about albinism and the struggles people with this congenital disorder encounter. So we couldn't wait to witness this play and capture it for you. This is what the team came back with.
This is my identity.
The annual Festival of Excellence in Dramatic Arts held their 13th edition of this event at the Joburg Theatre. The festival brings about unity for those in different departments within the arts, and also a platform for young people to show their talents.
Well, Philippa and Sandylands and I began it 13 years ago with an idea of showcasing drama departments in Johannesburg and celebrating creative talents of young people. So it was for playwrights, actors, directors to come and show their work together on the stage, and it's grown enormously. We began with 3 plays, and this year we have 65 productions from over 40 high schools. It's important to recognize talent in young people and give them a platform, because I think they are so busy and so pressurized in the school situation that I think dramatic arts allows them this wonderful escape where it is academically rigorous but also gives them an escape, a chance to play another character, to tell another story, to be somebody else just for a while. And I think sometimes by standing in somebody else's shoes, it suddenly shifts how you feel and it shifts perceptions. And I think that's how theatre, for me, makes people grow.
Lebone II College of the Royal Bafokeng were this year's FEDA winners with their original work, Malaika, and they elaborate on the educational message behind their play.
The play that we're producing tonight is called Malaika. So what the play is about, it talks about albinism in Africa in general, and how Africa takes this concept of people living with albinism. And so our play is trying to challenge that even though a person might be living with albinism, essentially we are all human, and it doesn't only just speak to albinism, it talks to race in general.
You will disappear, and the ancestors will not see you. Well, the importance of people attending and being aware of the messages we're portraying outside is for them to understand, because a lot of people do not understand what's going on in the outer world outside. People only understand the things that are around them, and people are not aware of the situations that are outside. And there are a lot of things that I didn't even know till I came and I joined the play Malaika. And for me, as I'm telling Malaika's story, it is important for people to come and write so that they can have the realistic image of Malaika, so that they can imagine. And it's also important for me so that I put myself in that person's shoe that I'm telling the story for.
In Africa, albinism isn't something that they are accustomed to yet. If you know our history, they used to actually kill children who had albinism. So our play is like educating people about albinism and actually embracing people who have albinism and accepting them into our society, because we are all human after all, you know.
The importance of the festival and why we believe it is nurturing talent in young people is that creativity, they say, is the currency of the 21st century. And we have been absolutely blown away by the bravery of these young people and how they're willing to be quite vulnerable and expose themselves on stage, telling stories that are deeply personal. So in a way, we think we're encouraging young playwrights of tomorrow. And I think that's why FEDA has grown as it has, and it's exploded this year.
I actually attended my first FEDA play in 2016, and from then, I was blown away. It was the first time our school actually participated in the FEDA festival, and we did so amazing. And from that day, I knew that I'm definitely going to be a part of it, and I'm just grateful to have a drama teacher who saw, I have potential, and here we are today.
I think when you are emotionally expressing how you feel, when you are in touch with that side of yourself, then I think there's a deep spirituality about what you are saying. I think theatre touches on morality, on vision, on, as I said, problems, and I think in a way it makes you more emotionally intelligent, and I believe that that is a connection with your own spirituality.
Something that this play has really taught me is that there was so many myths and stereotypes around people with albinism. I think growing up as black kids, more specifically, we're not really informed about it, and it's something that we are scared of. And I think being a part of this play and actually learning about it has helped me see that there's actually more to what people tell us, and it's important for us to do our research and actually find out more about it.
I learned that you don't have to think the way other people think. It starts from you, what you believe. If you've told yourself that you're cursed, then on the outer world you're gonna believe that you're cursed. But if you told yourself that you're a blessing, no matter what people say, you're still gonna be a blessing. And later in life, that's when they're gonna realize that you really are a blessing. And I also learned that your skin color doesn't define who you are. Your personality is the one that defines who you are, because skin color is just a color.
This is my identity.
Thank you to Janet and the members of the Lebone II College of the Royal Bafokeng for sharing that artistically educational story with us. May you continue imparting knowledge and educating others through your storytelling and talents. Keep up the good work. Uba nawo unalibalo ongathanda ukusixelela ngalo nababukeli bethu beMzansi for sure. Kulula. Sazise ngokusibhalela incwadi ku-identitytvshow@gmail.com. It's time for one more break. When we come back, we head into today's What's Happening segment, which features the review of a traveling guide app that will help you research various destinations in and around Johannesburg, and an interesting Christian movie titled I Can Only Imagine. We'll be right back.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Thank you for staying tuned into the #1 multi-faith magazine show, Identity, right here on SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. I'm your host, Viwe Gxwala. Uba usanda ungena uphosiwe. Siqala inkqubo yethu nosomashishini ogqamileyo we-Nunnovation Africa Foundation, Ngwako Ramohlale. Salibhekisa eJoburg Theatre apho khona sibone amalunga eLebone II College awe Royal Bafokeng. Goku lixesha lemedia review yale veki. Nanku what's happening. Are you a traveler at heart and would love to explore and learn more about various locations in the Johannesburg area? Well, we've got the app that helps you do just that. It's a travel guide app called Johannesburg Offline Map and Travel Trip Guide. Let's take a look.
Johannesburg Offline Map and Travel Trip Guide app is an inbound tour operator with a detailed map that will help you easily reach various destinations within the city of Johannesburg. Based on your GPS location, the app offers different places and street names you could travel to.
Keep left.
If you're visiting a place and want to explore interesting areas around you, click the Attractions and Tours tab to know all the interesting spots recommended for you. Click the Recenter option, which will give you a drop-down menu to choose from. Need to grab a bite to eat? The food option will provide you with a list of places to dine in. Maybe you want something luxurious and also affordable to stay in. Click the Accommodations tab to get a list of hotels and B&Bs listed by the app.
You have reached your destination.
The app also offers general information and services, such as ATMs under the Services tab, as well as train stations under the Subway and Train Stations tab. Take a short left and explore Johannesburg with the help of Johannesburg Offline Map and Travel Trip Guide.
I'll certainly be using that app to get to learn more about different places in Jozi. Now on to our next review. We take a look at a motivational and heartwarming story of a man who becomes terminally ill. He then finds redemption by embracing his faith and rediscovering his love for his son. It's called I Can Only Imagine.
It's an amazing song.
Just kind of happened. Took about 10 minutes, I guess.
Bart, you didn't write this song in 10 minutes. Took a lifetime. How'd you do this?
I Can Only Imagine is a faith-based movie that tells a backstory of how a song comes to existence. It's a music biopic that shares a story of a young boy who suffers physical and emotional abuse at the hands of his father, Arthur.
Where's Mama?
After his mother left at a young age, Bart's love for music grows immensely. Writing music was the only escape for Bart because it gave him hope to survive and dream bigger.
And I found some songs that I held on to. They gave me hope.
Mercy me, that can't be his real voice.
Because I needed it. Dad, I can do this.
Even after Bart's music career was picking up, his father still did not believe in him. Years later, Bart mends his relationship with his dad, and this inspires him to write the hit song, I Can Only Imagine, as singer of the Christian band Mercy Me. Starring Dennis Quaid, Madeline Carroll, Priscilla Shira, Cloris Leachman, and Trace Adkins. If you're looking for a spirit uplifter, make sure you check out this movie. It's called I Can Only Imagine.
Ixesha liyabaleka nyani xa kumandi. Njenganjalo sifike ekugqibeleni kwenkqubo yethu yanamhlanje ye-Identity. Sithemba ukuba undwendwe lwethu, ibali lethu neziqendu zethu zinishiye nakhekile ninomfutho. Uba unalo ibali elakhanayo, ungathanda usixelela ngalo, ungakwenza oko ngokuthumela incwadi ku-identitytvshow@gmail.com. Sikhona naku-social media. Ungasifumana ku-Identity TV Show, ku-Facebook, ku-Twitter naku-Instagram. From me, Viwe Gxwala and the Identity team, stay blessed. Goodbye.